I'm at the bad guy for yelling at big kids to get out of the baby pool. I had my 1-year-old at the pool yesterday. Being one, he can't swim, so I sat in the baby pool and let him do his thing. This way, this pool is set up. I sat in the deepest part of the baby pool. The water was maybe 2 feet deep, and my son was standing on my lap. Behind me was a walkway, then the big kid pool, 4 feet deep. I heard the lifeguard shooting, and she kicked a group of kids out of the big kid pool for row housing. There were 13 of them. I'm guessing age 10 till 14. They immediately jumped into the baby pool, where there were about 20 kids under 5 there. They immediately started playing tackle football not far from us. I gave them some space, but my son got hit in the head with the ball. I told them to be careful. There were little ones in the pool. Then I moved to the opposite side to give them space. 5 minutes later, we were back in the middle of their game, and I got elbowed. We moved again, sitting literally underneath the lifeguard. They kept playing row, and I saw them push a little girl, maybe 3 years old, under the water. The parents told the lifeguard, who didn't react to it at all. They ended up leaving. I saw 4 more babies get hit by the ball and the kids chasing it. And this group was taking out the entire baby pool. It wasn't safe for the littles, so all of the parents ended up taking their kids out. Now here's where I might be the bad guy. My son was thrown a fit because he wanted to stay in the pool, and I'm worn out between teething and the grown spot he's been in. I'm yelling at the kids that they needed to get out of the baby pool. I ended up taking my son to the lazy river to splash instead, but they called me a witch and a Karen and told me to mind my own business. I know that maybe someone isn't super friendly towards parents, but my husband thinks I should have gone to the lifeguard. That's fair, but I know she was watching and should have spoke up. I was raised by Karens, so I'm trying my best not to become one. I will accept all the judgments, so you're welcome. I'm at the bad guy for telling my friend that he smells really bad. I'm a freshman in college, part of a big friend group, and there is a kid I'm friends with that smells bad all the time. When we get a study room with him, after half an hour, the whole room smells like him. Sometimes I'm hesitant to let him into my car because when he leaves the car, it still smells like his stink. Earlier in the semester, I had texted him politely saying that maybe he wears some dirty clothes just to let him know. I figured it would help out a little. He sort of just nodded in response. Well, it didn't help. Last week, I sent him a short text in a super polite tone just saying that it seems like he rarely showers or washes his clothes, and that it's gotten to the point that I can't sit close to him or hug him. The smell makes me nauseous. I told him in the text that I'm here for him if he's feeling depressed or sad. And I tried to relate saying that sometimes I skip showers because I'm busy with school. He didn't respond, but he apparently got really upset and told all of our friends that I'm being really mean to him and making fun of him. One of my friends is mad at me because I told him earlier in the year, so I know, but didn't try to say anything until now. That makes no sense to me. I also never partook in talking trash about how he smells. I keep it to myself because I swear off that stuff after high school. There's like 6 people mad at me and I'm not sure what to do. I thought that if I nicely told him, it might help. Because I've had many other people that know him that the smell bothers them too. I feel bad, but also I was just trying to help him out. He's a nice guy and I wanted to continue our friendship, but I couldn't with him, constantly smelling really bad. So, what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for being dead set on wearing a red wedding dress in a Catholic church marriage setting. Long story short, I want to get married in a red wedding dress. Have since I was a little girl. I do not believe in religion to any degree. I find it a fascinating subject, but I do not believe at all. I do believe there is extraterrestrial life and that perhaps there is some sort of higher consciousness, but I don't believe in Christian Catholic in any way. I told my partner this many times about the red wedding dress and he encouraged it. He loves me in my colors and to see me vibrating. He's truly a gem and I don't want to lose him. Even wearing leopard print, PGs, a pink fuzzy sweater, and a cold mane for dog sledding, he still tells me how beautiful and precious I am. His family is religious, and he wasn't so much at first, but I have noticed him taking an interest in Christianity due to many recent losses within the family recently, which is completely fine with me. My family is also religious, and I was also baptized and taken to church on Easter and whatnot. Again, I find the religion quite fascinating, so I have no problem with him believing in it. The problem is that I agreed to get married in a church with priests. Even I don't believe in that. But as we talk now, he changed his mind and doesn't want me wearing red in a church because it's not white and it defeats the purpose. He says it's compromising, but I feel like I'm already compromising by doing it in a church with a priest instead of a barn, or why not? I even said, just to see, that I felt wear white but no church or priest, and he said no. I'm at a loss to be honest. So I'm not the bad guy for wanting to wear a red wedding dress in a Catholic church marriage setting. I'm not the bad guy for how I phrased my reply to my parents' request for financial assistance from my sister. My parents had me very young, like in high school. They had an again relationship for my childhood with my maternal grandparents, actually doing most of the pastoring until I was 12, and they get married and got their shit together. They had my sister 2 years after that. I was always a second for them. Our vacation was due to turn and faint. Our home was full of stuff for a little kid, not a teen. Whatever. I got out of school and my grandpa helped me get an apprenticeship as a welder. I enjoyed the work and the money is great. I have my own rig now and just bought a house. My sister is into ballet and she's really good. She had an opportunity to go to a summer program, but it will cost a lot of money. My parents cannot afford it at all. They asked me to help and I said no. They said that I should help her because she looks up to me and I said no. They said that I make more money than I need and they will have to go into debt for her to go on this program. I offered to give them back all the money they spent on my extracurricular activities as my contribution. They said I was being a bad guy because when I was young, they couldn't afford to pay for the stuff I was interested in. I pointed out that they are old and they still can't afford shit. My grandparents said I was too harsh for how I phrase it, but they know that my parents did all for me growing up. So what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for refusing to take my spoiled little sister to the movies. Me and my friends recently made plans to go to the movies. We were going to see a Disney. We're all movie Disney fans. I was excited to see it, since I've never seen it before, only the trailer. Anyways, we were about to go when my mom came back home with my little sister from one of her lessons. As soon as she came in, she saw me and my friends were all packed up and asked where we are going. So I told her the truth. Big mistake. As soon as I did, she started being super hyperactive and jumping around and asking to go with us. I said no, and that I was going with my friends, and we didn't have another ticket for her. She didn't like this and started demanding to go anyway. Now, a little backstory: my mom is a total pushover. She never stands up for herself, not even when people are yelling and pushing her. So, naturally, my little sister is a bit spoiled. She gets almost everything she wants. And when she doesn't get it, she gets something similar instead. I never got this privilege. Since she only got a better job with more money once I turned 8 or 9, she was too young to remember life without it. Well, I was already accustomed to not getting everything. My mom told me to let her come, but I refused and explained how then I would have to leave one of my friends, which I wasn't going to do. I don't get to hang out with my friends a lot because they live in the next town over, and I have school, and having a moment where all of us could get together like this were rare. Besides, my sister doesn't even like me or movies that much. She wouldn't enjoy it. Now my sister got really mad. She stomped her feet and snapped at me, calling me a jerk and how I was always so mean to her. Mind you, we don't talk that much besides when we have to, despite my attempts to kind a relationship. I told her she wasn't coming. End of story, she started to throw a full-on hissy fit. She screamed and stomped on my foot, which gave me a pretty nasty bruise, and called me a bad guy. And I'm not proud of this. Told her to get off because she currently wasn't coming now. I'll skip the rest of the drama, but she convinced my mom that I shouldn't be allowed to go because of my behavior. And my mom took away my ticket and told me that my behavior was inexcusable and nasty. I snapped that I was nearly an adult, and this was the one time I'd go to do this with my friends for the next several months. But for once, she actually stood firm, and my friends all had to go home. My sister nor my mom or I have apologized, and things have been very tense lately. I feel like I'm a bad guy, and I'm thinking of apologizing for being a jerk to my sister. But I wanted to get someone else's opinion first. So, what do you think? I'm not the bad guy for serving non-vegan food at my sister's baby shower. I've been married to my husband for just over 4 years, dating for 7. I know there is an age gap, but we're both adults and we love each other. But we just make it past a very rocky time in our marriage. To be blunt, he cheated on me. With my sister, yes. This was obviously devastating for me, but with therapy and marriage counseling, we've been able to forgive each other and move on from his past mistakes. Unfortunately, it turns out that he got my sister pregnant and she insisted on keeping it. So, husband and I are child-free. Sister and I have difficult relationship. She was always the golden child, the pretty one, the one who had to have all the attention. Our parents encouraged her. Anything she did wrong was excused or blamed on me, whereas I was screamed if I put it all out of line. She slept with my first boyfriend, turned my friends against me, spread nasty rumors about me all around school. People love her so much they never listened when I tried to tell them what she was really like, my parents included. They skipped my graduation to take her to a horse show. I had to miss my own prom to babysit her kid while she went out partying. And I'm child-free. The abuse only got worse when my grandfather died, and it turns out he had left his entire estate to me, with nothing for my parents or sister. They tried to fight it, but the will was clear. My amazing grandpa is the reason why I was able to pay off all my student debt and buy myself a really nice house. I'm now a surgeon making a 6-figure salary, and my family has shown me nothing but spite and jealous. Sister has 2 kids, both from different relationships, and is now a single mother still living in my parents' house. Yesterday, my husband told me that the lady who was supposed to be catering for sister's baby shower had cancelled last minute and requested that I do it instead. I wasn't originally even planning on doing, but he pointed out that it will be a nice gesture and might help to heal the rift between us. For some reason, I agreed. I really enjoy cooking and take a lot of pride in the dishes I make. My favorite is a chili recipe passed down to me from my grandma. It's a little different to American chili, and the ingredients can be hard to source, but it's absolutely amazing. I made a big bowl of it to go with the other dishes, and I think I did a pretty good job of making an impressive spread in just an afternoon. So, husband doesn't not cook. I keep offering to teach him, but he burns things deliberately and makes a huge mess for me to clean up. So I hate to do it all myself. While he sat in the living room playing video games, he has been unemployed for a few years now and spends all the money I gave him on video games and OnlyFans subs. This is something we're working through in therapy, so no unkind comments, please. The morning of the baby shower, I pack up all the food and drive to my parents' house to set up. Everything seems to be going okay. People start to arrive and they all love the appetizer platter I made. There's my aunt and uncle, my cousin, friends of my sisters from high school, my grandparents, our neighbors, and her kids. So my cousin has recently come out as a trans and I have been supporting her as much as I can, as some other family members have not taken it well. She's presenting as a woman full-time now, and I'm so proud of her. She looks amazing. Neighbors and their kids must have had sugar or something for breakfast because they're running wild, throwing grapes at each other and leaving massive fingerprints on my nice platter. So my friend has a very hands-off parenting style, and our parents are very boys will be boys types of people, so this kind of behavior from them is not unusual. So, one of his kids recently been diagnosed an authist, so now they just use that as an excuse when he causes mayhem. I'm child-free and I don't enjoy being around children at the best of time. But these two are really getting on my nerves. No one is even supervising them, as my friend is too busy gossiping with her friends. I tried to gently correct their behavior, but it didn't seem to do any good. The worst comes when I bring out the lunch platters, including the chili. Fran's face turns bright red when she sees. She confronts me in front of everyone and causes a big scene demanding to know why I will bring something like that to her baby shower. So, my friend is vegan. I have no problem with veganism, but she can be pushy with her beliefs. And I don't think everyone should be forced to eat only what the host personally likes. I calmly explained that no one was forcing her to eat the chili and I had brought plenty of fully vegan dishes. She got even angrier and screamed that that wasn't the point. My mom came over and backed her up, telling me that I should know better and that I've been ruined my friend's party. I looked her dad in the eye and said, if you will actually parented your daughter instead of spoiling her every opportunity you got, she wouldn't be pregnant with a married man's baby and you wouldn't be stuck raising the grandkids she's too immature to take care of. She went pale and B burst into tears. I left and took my chili with me. Now I won't have to cook dinner for a few days, which is definitely a silver lining. Thinks I should have been more patient with her. He refused to live with me and he's been staying at my parents' house with my friend. He won't answer his phone and keeps texting me to say how badly I hurt my friend and I shall be ashamed of myself. Unfortunately, everyone else seems to have taken my friend's side as well, and he's been blowing up my phone calling me a bad guy and demanding I apologize to my friend. So I didn't mean to make her cry, but it felt good to vent my frustration, and I don't think I said anything that wasn't true. I catered her event for free with less than 24 hours notice, which is far more than she's ever done for me. So am I the bad guy here?